Hi everyone, welcome to the next in a series of the RetroBat build series. I think we're up to video 8 now. So in this one, again, same kind of standard, we're going to add a few more systems. And then also this one, look at something else, which is editing some of the theme files. That's not just for fun, there's a reason we need to do it, which will be apparent when we get to it, and I'll show you why. Obviously that's optional, but it's something I think makes the system look a bit better. So let's crack on then. Like I say, to make this a short video, as I always say, but we can but hope. So let's just close this down for a second and see what we've got to add today. So here's our builds, here's our RetroBat folder on the left hand side. So under the X-Drive builds and RetroBat, the same as normal. So like I say, it's the same build I'm using. I'm building up as I go in the same videos. I'm not kind of doing anything in between. So what you see in the videos is what you got here. Obviously your RetroBat folder may be somewhere else, and then we decided to install it. On the right hand side here, obviously there's all the systems I've downloaded before from various sources online, and here's the current ones for this video. So there's the Atomiswave, I think I've pronounced that correctly, and C20 is actually the Commodore Vic-20. F Pinball is a Future Pinball, and the ZX Spectrum. So I think people probably know most of those. Obviously Future Pinball might be, I guess not everyone's into pinball, but it's quite a cool thing to add. I'm certainly into it, so that's why I've got it. The Atomiswave is, for those that don't know it, it's actually it was an arcade system originally produced by a company called Sammy, based on the Dreamcast kind of hardware. So it was around for sort of the early 2000s. Had a few sort of popular games on it, things like Metal Slug 6, King of Fighters, I think King of Fighters 11, things like Sega Bass Fishing was on there as well. It's around for a little while, it was like early sort of 2000s, and then Sammy merged with Sega, and then shortly after that they moved on to different hardware. I think they used the Taito Type X2, which was again a different arcade board. So yeah, it's not a huge number of games on it, but there's some quite popular games on it, and I think I've seen it on a few other systems, so it's quite popular. So I thought I'd chuck it in here. So without further ado, let's crack on. So exactly the same as before. Go into our ROMs folder and just work down in order. So we've got the Atomiswave folder here ready. Let's open up the zip file. So like I say, not too many games, but they are fairly sizable. So again, we've got all the games, the game list, and all the artwork. Simply drag that into there. Same password as always. So rb-build. That's obviously it's case sensitive, so exactly as you see it on screen, and an exclamation mark on the end. That'll take just a minute. Really down to its size. Like I see, a couple of hundred, well, between 100 and 200 meg each. So yeah, Metal Slug 6, King of Fighters, a few others on there. Okay, so that one's done. So let's just go back to how I mentioned before. So Future Pinball, again another fairly big one, so let's grab the F Pinball folder, drag that into here, same password. Again, there's quite a few tables in here. Not able to see some of the names flicking past there, so Gone in 60 Seconds. So a lot of sort of commercial pinball tables have been recreated in here. So I think pretty much the idea with this one is that they basically take real pinball machines that exist, obviously physical ones, and actually create a virtual version of it inside the emulator. So it's pretty cool. Just let that finish. Like I say, I like to do everything in real time. Don't really like to sort of pause the video and skip on. couple more seconds. There's a file copy. Like I say, after in previous videos, because I'm using 7-zip, which in the 7-zip manager works really well for me. Like I say, dragging a folder out makes it sort of effectively do it twice. Copy it to a temp folder, and then it copies it into the final destination afterwards. So let's go next Spectrum, drag it into an empty bit of space there. Password, enter. That was obviously a lot smaller Spectrum. And lastly, C20. I'm not quite sure. It's a Vic-20 games in here, so this should be quite quick as well because they're fairly small. And there we go. So that's those 4 systems copied across. They should be fairly straightforward. The only one probably Future Pinball. That takes a little bit of setting up. I've done it previously on my RetroBat build, but that was a while ago. So it'll be a voyage of discovery for everyone. So I think it's fairly straightforward. And things like the Atomiswave, I think we're kind of moving on to sort of more modern, like the 2000 arcade systems. So it's going to need possibly a more powerful system. But obviously we'll see what happens when we get there. So without further ado, let's go back up to the RetroBat folder, run the exe, or just run the shortcut from your desktop, whichever you prefer. Just move this back into view, minimize this. Okay, so we have 4 new systems now. Actually, we just go to all games. Our running total is nearly 3,000 games now, so coming along nicely. Like I say, for those who haven't seen other videos, obviously there is obviously this is number 8, number 7 in the series, and adding systems each time. And they're not all full sets for each system. They're kind of a best of, so the top 50, 100, 200 games, depending on the size of the games. So it basically gives you the best of without taking up loads of space. Because obviously you think you've got all the ROMs. The more ROMs will take up more space, but then all the artwork and the video clips that go with them will just add up. Plus there'll be a whole bunch of games that you probably never play. So that's kind of what this build is. It's kind of, hopefully I'm going to try and cover all or most of the systems supporting RetroBat, and have kind of the best of games for each one. So again, without yabbering on for too long, so yeah, Vic-20, first one on the list. So let's have a quick look in here. Oh, again, if I hit the right button. But yeah, there's quite a few games in here, and Vic-20 is actually one of the reasons, as I mentioned in the intro, why we might look at playing with the theme, just to change the size of the font you see here in the game list. That's pretty much because oh, don't need to come out of that. Let's go back in. It says. That's good. You'll notice that it's got a lot of the artwork for the sort of screenshots and videos, but on the left hand side on the wheel it hasn't got all the logos for all the systems. So I mean, that's hopefully something I'll go back and sort of fix and sort of download and find all the missing ones myself manually, which obviously is kind of in the hands if whoever uploaded the original. But like I say, they're not all there. A lot are. I guess there's probably about 50% there, but for ones that aren't, it shows this default font. And for me, I mean, it's fine, but it's a little bit small. So what I want to do is go in, when we finish adding all the games, go in and just change the font here and make it a bit bigger, so it's a similar size to these logos. So it's not quite as obvious. It kind of stands out here that you're missing some artwork where they're quite small and all the logos are quite big. So just try and make this a bit bigger, but you'll see what I mean when we come to it. So that's a Vic-20 added. So let's go back. Oh no, okay, wrong button. Let's go. Let's see if it works while we're here. So again, this system runs in RetroArch, uses the Vice core or emulator. As As you can see, this is quite an old system, and actually has a tape drive, tape deck to load the games from. And can take a little while to load, so let's just see how long it takes. If it takes too long, I will pause the video for you, just so we're not sitting there watching paint dry. And actually what I'll do right now is I'll leave the recording going and then probably just speed it up when I come to finalise the video. So I'll shut up now and see how long it takes. So it is still loading, but it's got kind of an intro screen for us now, giving us the controls, and obviously Dotman, a total rip-off of Pac-Man, but they got away with it somehow. I think if you look on most systems, there's always kind of a clone, as I say, of the popular games. Okay, it's finally loaded. Took a couple of minutes, but I guess that's authentic. So I can't hit F1 because that brings up the RetroBat menu, which is annoying. Oh, I'm not sure what the keys are. Fast forward button. The F1 just brings up the in-game menu for RetroBat. So I've worked out what the controls are, but obviously you can see it's loaded fine. So I'll take that as okay for now. There you can see what it's meant to look like. So let's just come back out. Oh no, wrong button again. I really remember my Z and X on the keyboard. Let's just close that. Right, back. Thank you. Right, so Vic-20 games are added. Obviously, not all the artwork for the wheel is there, all the logos. So we'll obviously address that. Next one added was Feature Pinball. So let's give this a try. Again, this one does have a complete artwork set. Obviously at the moment Vic-20 is the only one that doesn't, which is a bit frustrating, but we'll hopefully sort that out. But I can see there's a whole bunch of popular arcade machines. So let's give Back to the Future a shot. Now I've not done anything, obviously a clean build. Yeah, so it's going to prompt me to install the Future Pinball emulator / application. I don't think it's really an emulator as such. I think this one's a bit of a bigger download, it might take a minute or two. Okay, it did install, and then for some reason, you probably didn't see, I got an off-screen prompt, Windows elevation prompt to install. Just click yes to that. So I'm not sure what that error is. We'll double check that in a minute. There's a couple of errors here. I can't find certain bits. Okay, so this is where I try and launch the game, but I think, as previously mentioned in some other videos, with my capture software, if a game or an app runs full screen, true full screen, it doesn't capture it properly, so you can just see on the taskbar at the bottom there's something running, but you can't actually see the video output of it. So basically what it's doing is it obviously comes with those error messages first about some missing files, and then it comes up loading the table, which can take a few seconds to load the table, and then it crashes out again. It comes back. So obviously an issue with those missing files. So what I do here is then just quickly try it again, just to see if anything's changed. Yeah, there we are. So there's a couple of these library files that are missing. 3 files in total, and then it starts to load the table. So there's a screen now that obviously you can't see, but just with like a progress bar loading the table and a bit of artwork about the table in the background, and then it stays there for a few seconds while it's trying to load, and then crashes out. Like I say, I've had to kind of overlay this audio over the top, because obviously at the time of recording I didn't realise you couldn't see it, which is a bit of a shame. So anyway, yeah, it crashes out. So what I'm going to do is obviously not try it now. I'll do it again, do it at the end of the video. So for those that are adding the future pinball, I'm going to troubleshoot it quickly at the end of the video. And also I've recorded this and I'm now redoing the video, so I do fix it. I do get it working. You'll be glad to hear. But also, yeah, stick around to the end of the video and find out how. And now we're just going to go and check the rest of the systems. Come out here and just check those systems. So Atomiswave been added successfully. You can see on the games here. You can see they're kind of like slightly more modern arcade games. A lot of fighting games, but obviously Metal Slug classic. So let's give this a quick try. I do quite like Metal Slug, to be honest. Okay, so it is running in RetroBat, which is good. I think, yeah, as I was saying earlier, the hardware for the Sammy arcade device box, board that runs inside these arcade cabinets, is based on the Dreamcast. It's actually running on the Flycast core, which is the Dreamcast emulator. So it shows sort of how closely it is based on the Dreamcast hardware. It's using the same emulator, so. We've obviously got, again, a custom bezel. Yeah, so that's loaded. It is, again, a little bit slow. I can hear from the audio, whilst I'm not recording the audio, but I can hear from the audio that it's a little bit slow. And that's possibly down to me recording again. But anyway, you can see, yeah, not running too bad actually. I'm not sure what buttons are for coins, because I haven't set up the keyboard, and again my controller's not connected. But you can see that's loaded fine, and yeah, got this nice little bezel, make it look like an arcade machine. Let's just hit escape on that one. So that's Atomiswave added. And here's what I'm saying about the King of Fighters games. Like I said, there's a lot of fighting based games on this system. So yeah, all looking good. So the last one was the ZX Spectrum. Like I said, I'll come back to the Future Pinball at the end, because obviously not everyone might be interested in that. Yeah, so here's Future Pinball again. There's a few games that don't have the logo, which we need to sort out. So things like that, obviously that kind of like, I don't know, kind of annoys me a little bit. That I'd really like to have a full artwork set, because those ones that are missing, what I'll look to do is, obviously it takes a while to pull together that kind of that missing artwork. So what I might do is do that in the background, and at some point just make the artwork available to download, and people can grab it and just copy it across. And also I'll do a video how to do it. It's quite simple. You just copy it into the images folder under the relevant ROMs folder. But yeah, so let's try where did I see? Got a bit dizzy. Why not? I think again this is going to run in RetroArch. There we go. Not entirely sure what the keys are. Shock. But anyway, you get the point. Get the idea. So there's the X Spectrum. Again, custom bezel, all pre-configured in RetroBat. So yeah, that's all the system's done. And what I was going to quickly do before I go off to the future pinball bit, I'll do at the end, and we'll have a little play with that, see if we can get it working. So like I said, for this and for the Vic-20, like I say, there's some artwork missing at the moment for the wheel, and it kind of just stand out a bit. Because like I say, all the standard font obviously is, it's a slightly funky font with some the kind of shadow on it and the kind of skew with letters, but it doesn't quite. It's a lot smaller than the actual logos. So what we're going to do is hit enter, go into the user interface, and we can see we've got, at the moment we've got the Hypermax theme that I've included, and our game list view is an automatic. But so you'll see in a minute, but the way this is laid out, it's got a lot of different settings files for the theme, and then specific ones for the game list depending on what view you're in. So it's on automatic at the moment, but if we go in there, you'll see there's all these different views that you can set the game list view to. So for example, grid, we change it to grid and go back, and then go into the Vic-20. See, it's in this view here, so it's kind of a grid on the left hand side, which to be honest, I prefer the wheel. So if we go back in user interface and then configuration, we'll change that one to game carousel. I'm pretty sure that's the one that when you leave it to automatic, that's the one it picks. So let's just come back out and check that. It's going to Vic-20, and yeah, we're back to kind of how we were. So we know that the config file that we need to edit is the one for game carousel. So let's do that. Let's just close this for now, and let me open up. So we're going to RetroBat builds folder. Just take this one out of the way. Don't need that. I need to check against, because I did this on my other system just to check it works. So I'm just going to find that over here. Obviously I appreciate it's off screen. I'm just going to find the reference files here, which might take 2 seconds. He says it's here somewhere. Okay, so I'll show you here. So basically, so as we did in the first or second video where we put in the we manually added the files for the current theme, we go into the emulation station folder, and then there's another one called .emulation station. Under here there's themes, and then there's be a folder per theme. So Hypermax is what we want. If we scroll right to the bottom of here, there's all different artwork in here and all the settings. So these XML files that I mentioned before, these text files with in markup language. So here's the game list, different config files basically, and the one that we want is game carousel. I'm not sure it's game list hyphen game carousel. Obviously not, so just game carousel. Oops, a bit big. So as you can see, this is the it's basically a settings file that tells it, okay, put the pointer over here, make it this color, make it this size. Here's where to find the image file for the pointer, all that kind of stuff. So there's somewhere down here. So okay, so there's the logo text. There's not logo text.
called something else. What's this one here? Okay, game carousel logo text. I've actually got the other file that I modified over here. It's handy. So I'd like to use RetroBat++. So what I can do in here is move to other view and put them side by side, which is handy. Just get them out of the file that's open. So I can see when I'm over here, I'm looking in the one in our builds folder. When I'm looking here, this is my build. So down the screen here, make it pick up. So game carousel logo text. Game carousel logo text. So let's say this is the let's say the writing that appears if you don't have the logo at the game list. So it tells it, you know, what font to use. It's this RGTTF font. Tells it what size to do it, how to space out the lines. There's a glow, so like a 3D effect. What color is the main? So I think basically the main text is white, and the glow effect is black, or just off black. So what I've done here is experiment with making it a bit bigger. So basically trying to get the same size as the logos, which you'll see in a minute. So as I've mentioned before, looking in the Vic-20, where you've got missing logos, it just shows the text in this font, but it's a bit small. So I played around with these settings before. So all you need to do, say, is find that file, glow size, I'm changed to 5, offset to 5 as well. The spacing is still 1, and the actual font size that is doubled to 0.060. That's all you need to do. Once you're finished, hit save. Also, you can open this file in Notepad or any kind of text editor. And then when you're done, you close that. And now we can come back up, select that folder, launch again. And now, with any luck, drag that back in, go into the Vic-20, and you see now that's the text. So it's a bit bigger now, and it's a similar size to the logos. I mean, obviously this is completely optional. It just kind of makes it blend a bit better. It makes everything a very similar size. Obviously, it would be nice to get all the right artwork for this, which I will try and do, and then upload later date. So that's basically sort of, I guess, manually editing the theme file. But anyway, that's purely optional. So let's leave that for now. Right, that's kind of like, I guess, the system's added, all that kind of good stuff. So let's now go back to that future pinball and see if we can get that to work. So right, let's have a look, because I did find an article previously about this, which was about running it as admin on Windows temporarily, or just for that first time. So obviously allowed to set some stuff up. So let's try that. So in the RetroBat folder, we've got this Emulators folder. And this is where we install any additional emulators, obviously things like, yeah, pretty much anything are in here. So we've got the virtual pinball, but it's F pinball we want. So here's the program that actually runs. So it suggests right click, run as administrator. Let's say yes. It mentions about doing this once, and I don't know if we need to open a table. Obviously it's remembered here that it's tried to open. Let's try and open that Back to the Future one again. It's still complaining about... I guess, yeah, when you load it in here you kind of see how they build it and develop it. All the different components. So I'm guessing we then do table launcher. Let's look under there, tables. Maybe that's the issue. So that's not where they all are. They're obviously under the ROMs folder. Let's have a look so we can change that. Editor options. Oh. Shows all the keyboard controls. Not there. Video and rendering, resolution, all that kind of good stuff. Right, so there's got to be somewhere. This is where they all are. Play table. This makes a difference. Just so pretty much at the moment, just kind of running the emulator manually as admin. Still obviously getting that message about those couple of files that it can't find. So again, this is the point where it's running, but you can't see it. But yeah, it bombs out again. Nope, it seems to crash out. Okay, I'm going to have a quick look at this and just see if I can find something. I'm just going to pause the video quickly. Right, okay, quick Google search and a quick look online. I think I found what was going on. So let's have a quick go back into emulators and to the Pinball folder. Now in this libraries folder, before this had about 9 files in, some standard bits and pieces, but with the Future Pinball tables, we have all the tables themselves, which are I think are TPL files, all in the ROMs folder, but they have extra resources, things like music and sound effects, which are these FPL files. There's a whole bunch here, which I've got. I've put them into the folder here now, and I'll add obviously the link will be in the description to grab them. So basically what you want to do is when you grab that zip file, there'll be a zip file called libraries.zip, and within it will contain all these folders, all these files. All we want to do is just like we do when we extract the ROMs, is grab the contents, all the FPL files, and drag them into here. So into this, within the RetroBat folder, the emulators, Pinball libraries, and stick all these FPL files into here, and you'll be good to go. Like I say, there's a couple of standard ones in it already, about 9. So when you copy it across, if you get asked to overwrite, just say skip or no, because you don't want to replace them. They're the same. I just want to make sure we don't replace anything that we don't need to. So yeah, so now that I've done that, let's go and give it another quick try. I'm going to do it manually. Just run the Future Pinball. I think let's do administrator as well. Now we've got the files there. Let's do it as admin to make sure it can do everything it needs to. So let's open up the same Back to the Future table. So this time it's open, there's no error message about missing files, which is good. Now let's say play table. Hopefully, fingers crossed. So again, this is where it's loading. It's the loading screen with a progress bar. But again, you can't see it, but trust me, it's there. And this is where it does eventually work and comes up. And I do have a quick play, but I'll obviously chop that bit out. Controller on again, as I mentioned in the previous videos, Xbox One controller.
I think again, as before, I have synced it to a different device since I last used it on this PC. Oh, we're good. We're connected? No. Don't think it likes the fact that it's been paired before. Let's just see if this works. There you go, it's doing something weird. Trying to connect to it. It's connecting and disconnecting. Okay. Let's try and just remove it. In the past this has failed, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, remove failed. And I'm pretty sure we'll then try and re-add it. It works, which is weird. Go figure. Anyway, right, that's connected. So let's actually run it through RetroBat. Just drag that there. Okay, so you've got the controller up and running now. Switch Pinball. Let's do the back feature because I know it works. There's this one, wasn't it? I believe. Okay, so let's launch it through here. Okay, so this is obviously where I launched the game again. You can't quite see it, but this time we get this. Well, it works, but we now get this Future Pinball requires developer mode message. So it doesn't seem to stop it working, but obviously again, it's just a little bit annoying that it pops up. So we'll have a look, see if we can get rid of that, or see if we can enable developer mode and see if it's a good idea or not. So again, now the table's working, it's all working fine. Have a quick play of it, but again, unfortunately, you can't see it because it's full screen. So just give that a chance to finish, and then we'll come back to the main screen here. I guess at this point, you just got to trust me that it works. So yeah, that's all the systems added. That's Future Pinball fixed as well, live. Like I say, there'll be a link to those extra files that you just need to copy in, and I'll put, just to confirm that in the description where to put them. It's fairly straightforward. Everything else is added, working, without the need for any additional emulators at the moment. Obviously, Future Pinball was an external emulator, but as you say, it installed and configured itself. So yeah, I think we're all good. What I might quickly do is just check with that message about Future Pinball. So what I'll quickly do is, let's launch a table quickly. Just see. Which will require developer mode enabled in Windows settings. Okay. And let's close out of here. Right, let's quickly see why that wasn't working. Big tab. Right, pop that in there. Do this in real time, rather than just disappearing and saying, "Oh, I found it." So let's just can't even type. Everyone look away for a second. Future Pinball requires developer mode. So I'm running Windows 11, but What is developer mode in Windows 10? Process settings called developer mode. One thing developer mode Windows allows you to more easily test apps you're developing. Usually it doesn't crash. So we could turn this on. But obviously it worked without it, so right outside the Microsoft Store could expose your device or personality to risk. Yes. Okay, fair enough. Right, so I don't actually need it because they run fine. And also there's the warning about enabling it, which I guess could worry some people. Yeah, let's try aliens. So it does run and that message is gone. So I guess that it's down to you whether you want to have a neat, tired experience when it launches. First, when to enable that developer mode. Obviously, it did come with a couple of warnings, but I'm sure it's fine. But obviously, leave that down to you to decide. That's also the exit button. Anyway, yeah. So that developer mode works. Like I say, it's down to you whether you want to enable or not. Like I say, you probably saw what I did there, but I just went into the settings. It should be the same Windows 10. This is Windows 11. I'm just still searching there for developer. You've got developer settings, which is under privacy and security. Developer mode. There's a learn more button there, which I guess we can have a look at. I don't want to bore everyone to death, but so you're not creating your own application on PC, you don't need to enable it. If you're trying to fix an issue with your computer, check out Windows Help. All the day-to-day activities such as gaming, web browsing, you don't need to activate developer mode, and in fact you shouldn't activate it. The rest of the information on this page won't matter to you, and you can certainly go back to whatever you're doing. Thanks for stopping by. However, if you're writing software with Visual Studio on a computer for the first time, you will need to enable developer mode on both the development PC and any devices that you want to test it on. Opening UWP project when development mode isn't enabled will either open the full version setting page or cause the following error. So it kind of says you shouldn't have it on unless you're developing, but it should be secure, you'd have thought, being turned on. So before we close the video, I've also been rambling on a bit now, obviously trying to fix Future Pinball, and then obviously that developer mode issue. Let's just double check. Now we've had developer mode on and run it once. Let's just see. Now we turn developer mode back off again. Let's just see if we're still getting the message. So let's go Future Pinball. Let's go X-Manjui. So yeah, it's come back. So it says that, but then launch is fine. So I mean, yeah. Oh look, and that particular one's got a missing FPL file. I have to try and find that one.
again. So that's a separate I guess resource file needed for this table that needs to go into that libraries folder. So I have to have a look for that, see if I can find a link for it. So yeah, so that develop mode, obviously pop that message while it's loading. Doesn't appear to stop it working, so it's just, it looks a bit ugly when you launch it. So I guess it's up to you whether you want to turn develop mode on or not, and take the risk. Well, I don't think the risk is huge, but like I say, I've turned it off for now. But yeah, so that works. Excellent. Okay, so I think we're good. All the systems added. I've rambled on for ages as usual, and we've got the systems added, and we've done that quick tweak on the XML file to change the font size, to try and hide the fact that we're missing some artwork. Like I said, I'll try and find that and post it in the future. So yeah, again, hopefully a useful video. Obviously that's had some a bit longer than it's meant to be. Another 4 systems added, so we're getting, you know, it's just, again, the building and building. If you find it useful, please make any comments. Also, like I said before, it's a bit hard to track them on YouTube. It's much easier to, like, I guess, have a to and fro conversation on things like Discord or Facebook, and I've got the links in the description. If you want to join the Discord server or join the Facebook group, have a chat, just say hello. There's quite a few members on each one now, and like-minded people. So yeah, jump in there, say hello. Obviously, ask any questions, any requests and that kind of stuff as well. And obviously, most importantly, if you've been watching the video and enjoying the series, and also want to get notified of future videos, please subscribe. It really helped me out. Obviously, like I said before, trying to grow the channel as much as I can, and obviously subscribers is a big thing that it's measured on. So yeah, hope you enjoyed it. I'll be back again in the next part, adding some more systems. At some point, I need to add main. Obviously, we added Find Neo for arcade games, and obviously Atomiswave has added a few more arcade games. But yeah, I need to add main as well. That's kind of one of the main, I guess, it's probably the main arcade emulator that people are pretty aware of. So I'll try and add that one, but I need to find a suitable set to add with a link. So hopefully try and do that in the next video or very soon. And yeah, I'll catch you all in the next one. Thanks for now. Bye.